So thank you all for coming on board, and it's a privilege to have all of you to come on board for us to share what is happening, especially with respect to our business. And so today we want to look at how our businesses, in terms of personal business, whether you're a business owner, whether you are a chief executive, you're leading a team, how we can mobilize resources, how we can have new perspective of ideas to be able to stay afloat, especially when we are confronted with this pandemic. So the idea and the discussion is going to solely revolve around we being able to use new ideas with respect to technology, new market trends, and all other things that are available to us in terms of resources to be able to keep our businesses afloat and generate new ideas, connect more. So I would welcome Ray, who is a panel personnel on the board, and then there is Patrick as well, and there is Emmanuel, who I hope will join us very soon. So I would allow them to introduce themselves. My name is Jerry Afolabi, and I am probably the host of this, and Patrick, Ray, and Emmanuel are all people on panel. But then, once they introduce themselves, then we can take it from there. I will probably set the ball rolling, and it will be more of discussion. We'll share more ideas, and then we'll take it from there. So Ray, we can go ahead and shoot.
All right. I would like to welcome everybody to the session, and I would like to thank my friend and brother Jerry Afolabi for the opportunity to share my experience on whatever is happening with COVID and its related impact on business. My name is Raymond Opondapa. I'm the managing director of Ultranet Telecoms Ghana Limited, and I am into other related businesses as well. So I am a living example of somebody that has been impacted by COVID and its related issues. So this is a great opportunity for us to share ideas and also share experiences and see how we can both come out as winners at the end of the day. So that's what I'll say for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Ray. I think Emmanuel joined. Emmanuel, welcome on board. So I'll allow Patrick to introduce himself, and then we'll take it from there as well.
Okay, Jerry, thanks again for the opportunity. My name is Patrick Babankwa, currently the Business Development and Corporate Affairs Manager of the Chartered Institute of Bankers. I'm also into financial education and financial literacy moves. Once again, I want to thank Jerry for the opportunity to meet as a team to discuss matters related to COVID-19 and how businesses can also improve their line and streams of income, even in spite of this challenge. Thank you once again, Jerry.
This man, they harass this guy like that. Why?
Welcome. Okay, Emmanuel. Ima.
He hasn't connected his audio yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, so whilst we wait for Ima, I think we all know what the topic is and what we intend to discuss. But then to set the ball rolling. Hello. We're getting a lot of feedback from the back.
Kindly mute all of us. Kindly mute all of us from your end so that you'll be the only one speaking.
Okay. Hello. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, so so that we don't waste much time, the whole idea and the structure of the whole program is going to be giving all the panel people at least maximum of 5 minutes to give their take on the topic. And then we'll open the floor for an interactive section, because we want to make sure that we're getting a lot of ideas from all of us as participants, because we are all business leaders and we have experience and expertise to share. We are here to also learn as well. So I would set the ball rolling by giving Raymond to kickstart with a discussion, by giving him 5 minutes to give us his perspective on the topic and what he thinks we can do going forward as business leaders.
All right, thank you very much, Afolabi. The topic that was given was how to stay afloat in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic and generating new business ideas. And Afolabi, being the host of this event, had tasked various participants or the panel members to speak on specific issues. On my side, the topic that was given to me to speak on is what's the new market entrance and the use of technology. In the midst of COVID, I'm sure everybody, the catchword that is going on is that we are not in normal times. So to be able to speak on what the new market trends are and what we can do using technology, I've summarized my presentation. I've summarized my presentation. I'm getting a lot of feedback from here. So like I was saying, I've summarized my presentation into 3 main subtopics, basically. Number one, what is the challenge of the time? What are the challenges that we are facing presently in this COVID time? Number two, what are the new opportunities that this challenge brings to us? Because for every challenge in life, it comes along with certain opportunities. And then finally, what are the technological trends that as business people or people who want to venture into business, we can capitalize on? So I'd like to start with what the challenges are. Mainly, the 4 main challenges that a lot of companies are facing now in the era of COVID, or individuals and businesses, regardless of how small and big they are. The 4 main challenges that I have identified that people are facing has to do with cash flow management.
Jerry, please, the one using TechnoSpark 3 is the one giving us a feedback. So if you can mute the person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that person, but I don't know.
It's muted now.
Okay.
It's muted now. Okay. So I was saying that the 4 main challenges facing businesses and individuals or small scale businesses at this time are cash management. The cash management in the sense that there's a lot of feedback.
Hello, Ray. I want to plead with all of us that I think we don't have much time. Hello, Ray.
Yeah.
Ray, can you hold on? I want to plead with all of us on the Zoom conference that there isn't much time and data to waste. So let us mute we're getting a lot of feedback and it's not interesting at all. I want to plead with all of us that let's make sure that we are able to stay within the time. We don't want to do more than 45 minutes because we all have appointments to deal with. I personally also have another meeting to join in the next 45 minutes. So I want to plead with all of us that let's do this snappy, let's share ideas, let's be more interactive and make sure we keep all other things which are giving us feedback muted. We want to plead with you. So thank you all. Ray, you can continue, please.
Okay. So I was saying that I will look at it from identifying what the challenges of the times are, and then based on the challenges, look at what opportunities these challenges present to us, and then finally end by identifying some of the things that people can do to make money or to grow their businesses at this time. And on the challenges side, I have identified 4 main challenges, which is cash management. A lot of businesses are struggling with their cash flow at this moment. It's either you are not collecting your cash well, people are not able to pay because of COVID. I'm in an industry where people give a lot of excuse now. In the telecommunication industry, people give a lot of excuse now that we are not able to collect cash. So your payment cycle will generally delay. People do not have a lot of cash to dispose of. Another challenge is the changing valuation or how we perceive things now, how we value what is important and what is not important. I think COVID has been able to let us know that a lot of things that we thought was very important are really not important. For example, people rent huge office spaces to do their businesses. For close to like 3 months now, people are working from home. And clearly this tells me that you don't really need a huge office to operate from. If you have a single room in your home or you have a small shop, you should be able to operate from there. Another challenge that COVID has brought is leadership complexities. It has changed the dynamics of how we perceive leadership now. Because if you are the kind of manager or business owner that want to constantly see your people before they work, you are not going to get the best out of them, because now people are working from home. So if you've not developed the culture of people being independent to work on their own, then you're going to face some challenges. And then finally, on the challenges part, what are the changing need of space? Like I said earlier on, do you still need that office? Do you still need to operate from that store? Can your car boot be that store? Can your home, a room in your house be your office? Is this something that you can do? These are the challenges. Based on these identified challenges, I want to touch on a few business opportunities that I have identified that people can venture into. And one on top of that list is cleaning services. There are a lot of companies now wanting cleaning services for their offices. People want cleaning services from their homes. So these are things that individuals can think about and do. You just need the right contact to be able to start from one institution, and then based on referral that could go. And then now another opportunity that this COVID bring is offering protective services, like people offering the nose masks or the face masks, the hand sanitizers and all those things. I see a lot of young people taking advantage of this to venture into business, which is very, 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 very good. Also, delivery service. Delivery service has become a very key service now. So it is an area that people can look into, providing delivery service. Most of the focus now has been on food delivery, but there is an opportunity in helping corporate organizations to do their delivery. So picking documents from one company to another company also presents another wonderful opportunity for people. Another opportunity that COVID has brought is remote application development. So when I say remote application development, I mean for those in the software or the IT world, this is the time for you to think of development that could allow people to work remotely without not necessarily having to be in the office. And one interesting thing I learned this week is about remote fitness. So now you cannot go to the gym. Before COVID started, I subscribed to want to join a gym, but now I cannot go to the gym. So if maybe you can think of organizing virtual training session for people to log on 30 minutes, 40 minutes online, work them through aerobics and all those things. I think that is also an opportunity. Finally, there is a vast opportunity for e-commerce. As you can see, there are a lot of online sales now. A lot of people are selling things online, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and they are using mobile money as a form of payment. Don't assume that there are a lot of people doing it, so it's not something you want to venture into. So far as there is an opportunity, I think that it's something that you should consider. So for me, I think that the challenges of COVID has also brought opportunities. We are meeting right now over Zoom. 3 months ago, a lot of people did not know about Zoom, but now 90% of my meetings in a day happens on Zoom. There are Teams on Microsoft Teams, there are Skype, you can use Dropbox or Google Drive to be able to share data and so on and so forth. So I believe that despite all the challenges identified by COVID, there are still some underlying opportunities that we can tap into. I would like to end here and allow other people to share their views, and if necessary, I'll come in with the technological trends that has come out as the result of COVID and how people can take advantage of that.
Thank you very much, Ray. That's been very insightful, and I would give the floor to Patrick to also have his stand of the 5 minutes, and then we can move on to Emmanuel. So, Patrick.
Okay, Jerry, thanks for the opportunity once again. I have just 5 minutes, so I'll try and rope in all the things I need to discuss this afternoon. So first of all, with the same topic that you've been given, I think I will pick it from the angle of improving yourself in spite of COVID-19. I realized that most of us, when we were on lockdown, we stopped everything. We were virtually waiting for the lockdown before we start working, actual working. But COVID-19 has given us an opportunity to improve our businesses and our personal life. So let's take, for example, the music industry. In the music industry, normally, in the past, used to sell CDs to make money. But nowadays, CDs is a thing of the past. People download freely online. So now the issue of having a big show was now the order of the day. So you organize a show, people come in, they pay gate fee, you get. But COVID-19 has made it in such a way that people are not able to connect and come in their numbers to enjoy your show. So as a musician, what do you do? Elsewhere, and even some people in Ghana have been able to organize what we call the festival, where people will still come into the program, they stream live, and they get whatever they have to get from the show because you are someone who is selling your talent. That is the angle I want us to see COVID-19 going forward. Yes, it has stopped us from doing a lot of things, but it has equally given us an opportunity to use other means to sell whatever we are doing. This meeting we are having, I'm sure if Jerry wanted to organize it in person, he will now want to get a place that will be having the program in location, decor, and all that, and still expect to market the program outside for people to come. But today we are all meeting on Zoom. We are, as we speak, we are about 23 people enjoying this session. It's an opportunity that has been created even in spite of the limitation of physical movement. So I want us to look at whatever we are doing. If you are working in an organization, if you are doing your business, ask yourself, what are the things that I can do in spite of the limitations that we are going to improve yourself? And one of them is to get used to books. Read more books to enlighten and brighten your horizon when it comes to your business. Maybe the particular strategy that you have been using for last 2 years will not be working now because of COVID-19. Doesn't mean you are supposed to still go ahead with the same strategy. No, for me, it's a no. Sit back, gather more experience, gather more knowledge by reading books, by going online. Nowadays, things have become easier for our generation. All you need to do is to just go on YouTube, go on some site, you get free information on how you can improve your business. People are learning how to create new lifestyle, create artwork, there are a lot of things just by going to YouTube. So that is what we need to be doing to improve ourselves as people working for people, others, or working for ourselves. If you don't use opportunity of technology, you don't use opportunity of things that are happening around us to improve yourself, chances are that even when the COVID-19 is over, you might be out of business. Your capital may be eroded because of no work for a period of, let's say, 3 or 4 months. And I think if you really want to improve and be change makers, these are the areas that we need to be looking at. As an entrepreneur, this is the time that you need to improve your business. This is the time that you need to be thinking of how you can change the scope of your business. You cannot be doing the same thing every day, even after this COVID-19. Online learning is a thing now. There are a lot of online platforms, a lot of webinars that are going on. As a business person, try as much as possible to attend most of these online learning platforms to learn, because we are in the age of learning, age of information. We have gone past the age where we want to do the particular thing that we are doing consistently and expect new results. Things are changing. The world is moving. And the only way you can also move with the world is by going after what the world is going after. And that is technology. And that is IT. And that is YouTube. That is Facebook. These are the places that you can easily connect. Because it's possible that for the next 1 year, most of the businesses cannot have the free will of doing their own businesses. If you are someone who sells on a table or you sell in a shop, people are not coming to your shop. The question I want to ask you is that, can you sustain that business when people are not coming to your shop? What is the power of social media? How can you use the power of social media to still connect and sell whatever you are selling to people? And the more you think and plan towards some of these things, the more you'll be hitting the roof when it comes to the business that you want the business to grow. As an individual working organization, after COVID-19, there are some researches that have shown that some businesses are likely to go down. So if you are in that particular business, the question is that, what are you doing to improve yourself or to move out of that industry or to make yourself indispensable in that industry? Are you sitting down for the industry to collapse, for you to be jobless and now look for another job? Or you are going to do something that will be innovative to change the scope of your work? These are the things that, for me, if we are looking at the concept of COVID-19 going forward, we should be considering on the personal level as an individual working and as an entrepreneur. And I believe that the more we think about this thing, the more we implement some of these strategies, the more we'll be staying afloat even after COVID-19. Thank you, John.
Okay. Thank you very much, Patrick. That's very insightful with you. So I would invite Emmanuel to also have a 5 minutes, and then I will allow the floor for us to share and discuss more, to be more interactive. So Emmanuel. Ima? Hello, Ima. Ima, can you hear me?
Mike is off.
Hello, Ima.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
So you have the floor, Iman. Yeah, you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I cannot have a video because I'm still in town, but I want to say something brief and then I'll leave the floor for the discussion. So the general topic is how to stay afloat. I'm going to pick it from the macroeconomic standpoint. Globally, economies have been affected by COVID, and Ghana is no exception. If you look at Ghana's economy, there are three major measurements: agri, industry, or manufacturing, and then services. All these sectors have been affected, and businesses that operate in all these sectors have been affected, but in various degrees. So, for example, in the agri sector, if somebody is a farmer who is just planting, that person will not be affected as much as somebody who is in the value chain of selling the produce. And there was recent news about in Ghana, poultry farmers, they have a lot of eggs that are going bad. The farmer that is going to be affected, and in the value chain, the sales and marketing of that egg is going to be affected because people are not patronizing as a result of the restrictions put in to curb COVID-19. Now, how can it stay afloat? Agri, manufacturing, services. There are various strategies you can employ. So let me start from the service industry. Of course, a lot of the service provisions now can be done online. We're having this, conference via the internet. So what companies can do is for them to shift to digital space. So if you have a shop or if you are in any retail business, you have to move from the physical space that you sell and then go online, whereby you can employ delivery services in addition to the physical goods that you sell, so that customers who patronize your goods can still patronize your goods and you still be in business. For manufacturing, it's quite difficult in this time, except you have to employ a lot of health measures so that you don't affect the workers who work in the industry. So if you are in construction now, you cannot say that you are staying in your house and doing construction, but you have to be on the side. But how can you protect them? You have to employ a lot of measures that we are already aware of, so that you protect the assets of your company. That's the human capital of your company. So in all of this, in conclusion, I would say that macroeconomically, everybody has been affected. In all sectors of the economy, everybody has been affected. But it's all about how you can be innovative, how you can, employ some other tools. As I gave the example of the attaching e-commerce to your normal retail business so that it can stay in business. If you're into manufacturing, how can you improve upon the safety protocols so that people can still do the business that you are into? If you are into building, whatever, you can do that. For agri, I think there's a great opportunity this time, because this is the time that food inflation is going up, because we are not having a lot of import. So this is a great opportunity for those who are in the value chain of agriculture to build capacity and have industries, import substitution industrialization, so that boost and the produce that you produce as a value chain in agri, you'll be able to make a lot of things. For example, if we are importing about $2 billion worth of rice to Ghana, and we are not having that import as we used to be pre-COVID time, there's an opportunity for businesses in the agri value chain to build capacity, produce to feed the local economy first, and also produce to feed and then to export. So that is my take on how businesses can stay afloat in the midst of COVID-19. In any sector you find yourself, agri, manufacturing, or services, and you'll be able to make some good business. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emmanuel. I think the perspectives that we've all looked at are very great. I would want to look at it from this perspective because, one key thing that makes businesses stay afloat and thrive has to do with the human resource. You cannot do your business and thrive without a good human resource. So we all know that around this time, the times that we find ourselves in are not too comfortable, and a lot more people are supposed to be working from home. But as an employer and as a business leader, how do you keep your employees responsible whilst they're at home? Because one of the key things, we all know how distracted we all get when we are at home. But then we're getting some feedback. I don't know, whoever that is, can you mute so we can... Hello? I want to plead with all of us to mute we're getting some feedback. Hello? Okay, so like I was saying.
Jerry, I think you should be able to mute it yourself, because I see a couple of people with their mics on, so you should be able to mute it.
I have from here. Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, you should be able to mute everybody's mic, so that we don't get a feedback we are getting.
Okay. So like I was saying, I'm taking it from the human resource perspective, that we need to be able to retain the kind of people that we're working with, and also make sure that even whilst they are working from home, they are accountable to us. Because if your people are working from home and you don't have a structure in place to make sure that they are being accountable and being resource oriented, then you have an issue. So it's very important that as business owners and as business leaders, we put in structures to be able to ensure that whilst people are at home and working, they are still accountable to us. So that's one of the key things that, as somebody who is also interested in businesses and I've been following business leads, would want to bring to bear, so that we look at how there's a new area that I'm trying to bring on board for us to look at how we can get more suggestions and more ideas to be able to manage human resource. The other thing that I want to also look at is partnership. COVID has actually affected a lot of businesses, irrespective of how big or small it is. So this is the time that I think that it gives opportunity for all of us. Wow. Hello. Okay. There's a time that I think we have the opportunity to have more joint partnership. There is a need for us to join hands and partner with other businesses that are in the same sector that we operate in. In so doing, you realize that areas that you are weak in terms of your business channel or your trade lines, you have people who come in on board with those kind of expertise. And once you join forces, you can be able to break even or be able to stay afloat or be able to grow your business. So this, for me, these are the two key areas that I want us to look at and pay more attention to. Partnership, because we haven't done well as a people, especially back home in Ghana, when it comes to partnership. We always want to own our own business. We always want to hold everything to our chest without allowing a lot more partnership. So at this point, I wouldn't take too much time. I want to open the floor and let us have a more interactive session. I know all of us are business leaders, so let's have more suggestions. Let's have more ideas and then ask questions. And then once the questions are asked, Ray, Emmanuel, and Patrick, myself, or any other person who is on the panel who has expertise on the question being asked can share ideas. So I'll now open the floor for questions and suggestions to come on board based on the topic. The floor is open, so let's have the interactions going on.
Hi, Jerry.
Yes.
Hi. Okay, so I want to come at this from a different perspective, okay? From a health and mindset perspective. You might hear something in the background because I've got my kids watching a program there, so please excuse me. But I think one of the things we need to think about and really focus on is our health, okay? Because without our health, we don't have anything, right? So something which is very important is our mindset and how we wake up in the morning, how we set ourselves up to win. Because the main thing is that COVID has happened and a lot of people may feel down or a bit stressed or worried. But the point is, if you wake up and you set your mindset, so I think somebody mentioned reading. Reading is a solid thing, right? Even reading for like 10 minutes in the morning, exercise. Exercising will get you energy. Okay, there's some noise in the background. Okay, you know, things like even just going for it. So mindset and health, making our businesses do well. If you're not, the next thing I want to say is there are so many. Are you able to mute, Jerry? Okay, I'll just keep talking. Okay, I think you did it. I think you did it. Yeah. Can you hear me? Just give me a thumbs up, please. Okay. Can you hear me? Perfect. Okay. So the other thing I want to talk about is online opportunities. There are so many online opportunities at the moment. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? Somebody mentioned YouTube. It's fine that we go and consume content on YouTube, but what about creating our own content on YouTube? One of the powerful things a lot of people don't know is that you will get paid for creating content on YouTube. I get paid from YouTube from doing that. And all you need is your mobile phone, and that is it. You don't need anything else. And I guess some knowledge, okay? But I think a lot of us have got experiences that we can share with people that can help them. And with YouTube, the main income comes from the adverts that are put on your channel. So another thing could be, what is it? So I've talked about YouTube. You could even do blogging. People now are starting to blog. think, Jerry, you blog quite a lot, right? Nowadays, there are companies that are willing to put adverts on your blog and are happy to pay you, right? I know people that earn up to $2,000 a month from just blogging alone. So I think we need to open our minds to diversifying our businesses and looking at other options. You know, if you're in the industry of, say, fashion, you could blog about fashion. If you're in the industry of health, I think somebody mentioned that, you know, people are doing online classes for health. You could blog about health. You know, whatever kind of experience and knowledge you have, you can use that to your benefit. The one other thing I would say that I see has blown up completely around the world is coaching. Because coaching is something you can do, like we're all here now on a YouTube screen. You could coach somebody and you could charge them a certain amount on a particular topic subject. So it can be health. A lot of people want to lose weight, but they don't know how to lose weight. If you've gone through that experience, if you lost weight, you are very capable of coaching somebody else to do the same, and they will pay you for that. As long as you're giving value, somebody will pay you for the knowledge you have. So I think we need to look at kind of the experience we have in all fields. As I said, it can be, you know, weight loss, it can be health, it can be, you know, different industries, selling in the market, it can be banking, it can be anything, and try and use that to kind of leverage an online business. And that's basically what I have to. Even last thing, teaching. I've noticed as well a massive growth in, you know, teaching young children, because obviously the schools were out for a long period of time, and a lot of parents need people who are teachers to teach their kids online. And so that is another opportunity that if you at least know some basic maths, you can teach some kids some maths, right? And be paid for it. So let's think about the online options, whatever kind of business you have. Nowadays, is you're able to take it online. And that's my input. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Jerry, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I'll
yeah.
mute myself.
All right, so I have just a little to add. I think most of us, I mean, if not all of us, we have some sort of experiences that we would want to still keep and still be making money. So take a look at the business you are doing now. I think we should be focused on building some sort of business continuity plan or resiliency plan, so that irrespective of anything that happens, we can work from anywhere we are, right? So take, for instance, Raymond being in the telecommunication business. Cannot be going to the office now, probably, but he should be able to work wherever he is and still talk to his clients, right? Afolabi might not be in Ghana or wherever he normally works from, but he's still doing what he does. What I'm trying to say is that we should start thinking of building a system whereby we can work anywhere, irrespective of the situation we are in.
Perfect.
And put controls around it so that whatever the case might be, our target we set from the onset can still be achieved.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of businesses in Ghana, and I mean, like in the emerging market space, don't have business resiliency plans. I mean, for me, since March I've been working from home, it has not affected my productivity in any way, just because we have a plan in place. The only difference I'm seeing is that I'm working from home, but nothing has changed from the way I work, the way I achieve my targets, the way I talk to other guys in the team. Nothing has changed. I think we should start thinking of how to continue doing our business irrespective of whatever happens. That's the little I can say.
Wow, Benson, that's very great. So we still have the floor. We're welcoming new ideas and new suggestions, questions, and all that. So the floor is still open.
Okay, I would like to quickly add, based on the submissions made so far by Manuel, Patrick, Bento, and everybody else, that you know, there's this way I look at the whole challenge with the pandemic, COVID-19 is doing three things in terms of the health sector. So it's affecting people. Some will not show any symptoms. Some are not getting the COVID-19 at all. Some are going to fall sick and recover, and some are going to die. And it is the same thing that is going to happen to businesses. So during this phase of COVID-19, it's going to test the resilience of businesses, and it's going to test the resilience of what idea you have, whatever you think that you have, that it's going to be tested. It's either you will not be affected, or you'll be affected, but you will recover. Some businesses will recover, and some would die alongside with COVID-19. So we need to look at it this way. So if whatever business that you are doing, like Benton rightly said, you must look at how well can my business survive in challenging times. And every time there is a major challenge that has hit the world so hard, like COVID-19 has done, when it is over, some people become millionaires out of the challenge, and some people are never able to recover from the challenge. So it depends on how you want to position yourself. Patrick said that we need to be able to develop ourselves. We need to be able to learn new trends, and let's not be comfortable in this is what is done here. One thing that I personally have done for my company during this COVID-19 period is to upgrade the knowledge of my team on how to use online platforms to work. So as we speak, everybody is working on a Microsoft Team platform. We don't need to be in the office to be able to share a file or a folder. Documents that previously somebody will print and walk to my desk and say, you need to review this document for me. It doesn't happen again. Now, because of Microsoft Teams, we are able to work on a document and put it in the folder, and I will get a notification, access the document, edit the document, it goes back to the person. So with this challenge, we have learned that there is a better way for us to work. We've learned that we don't even need hard copy files. All we need is a scanner to be able to scan documents as and when we need to work. And one other thing also is that it has allowed us to be able to see what really our strength is as a company. i.e., we have operations in Pakistan, we have operations in the US, we have operations in the UK, and we have operations in Ghana. So now you can't travel, nobody is able to move. How are you able to work? Offices are closed. How are you able to work? The COVID-19 has really taught us as a business that there are smarter ways to do these things. And interestingly, it's cheaper. It's cheaper. Maybe you, Afolabi, had to fly from the US. If you are organizing this conference in Ghana, you had to fly from the US to come to Ghana to come and participate or lead this conference. It would have cost you maybe some $3,000 to fly in and out back to the US. But here you are on Zoom, registered less than $100, and you can get as many as 100 people to sign on to participate. So I think that in as much as COVID has brought its own challenges, like I highlighted in my introduction, there are a lot of opportunities that are technological trends that COVID-19 has brought up that we need into, especially as people doing business in the developed world. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Thank you very much, Ray. But from, my background has been in audit. And so one of the key things that I think as business leaders and business owners is to look at the risks control and the mitigation aspect of the businesses. Because if you're going to allow people, your employees, to work from home, then you need to have a system in place. Like Bentel mentioned, that you need to have a resilient business plan, and you need to have a risk control procedure in place as well, because you would want to make sure that even though people are working from home, your system that they are working with is not affected. And you know that technology has become so evolved that there are a lot of hackers around. They can hack into your system and do whatever they want. So if you don't have that kind of measure in place, that firewall, if you want to call it in technology, to protect whatever system that you have, then you'll be opened to a lot of risks. So it's very important that as business leaders and as owners and entrepreneurs, whatever system that we are working with, we need to make sure that the controls and the mitigation factors are very, very much adhered to, irrespective of whatever people find themselves. So it's very important that we look at that aspect as well. So I'll still allow the floor for more people to bring in suggestions and ideas. And I know Auntie Alberta is still around. Maybe she would want to also share something from the perspective of banking. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, everybody. I'm sure I'm the outlier among the group, looking at my face, my age, and everything, but don't worry. Retirement does not mean one is retired. Yeah, I continue at my age, I continue to update myself, attend school.
Hello, sir.
Even at
Please, is emailing now.
Net. I learn through the net and I share. I write a lot on the business and financial.
From where you sit and from what you said, it's obvious that it will be a challenge. So I explained I'm saying that from where you sit from home, it will be a challenge. So kindly complete and do the signing for me. I'll speak to the team on it.
Can I go on?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so using my own experience, during the lockdown, for example, I do some side jobs, training bankers, and because of the fact that
so do the signing for us.
Online training, we also follow SIP. We are able to talk to our clients virtually and train them virtually, and even more people can join in. And this I do on behalf of the Chartered Institute of Bankers. Now, on my own, from my own perspective, I believe that in every obstacle.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, what I'm saying is that I believe that in every opportunity, in every obstacle, I identify double opportunities, because I look for gold mines anywhere, because you could have a mountain and yet either go around or cut through the mountain to get the gold. And that's what I do in mentoring young people. One should not fold one's arms in the air. For example, I have identified my talent even at this age, and having moved out of banking, I can see myself mentoring. I like drama. I use drama a lot in my training, and this can be done also online. And I also try to update myself with what is going on in the current banking scenario, especially try to do some research on how customers are feeling and try to identify best means or best approach on digital banking. I share this online on my articles. Now, I have some ideas that for now I can't say here, but something will be coming out very soon. I use the lockdown time to try to complete a book that I'm writing. I have 2 books to my credit. I'm writing the next one. And I went to school at SIPS, and it has changed my outlook, because the book that I was going to write for branch managers would have been outdated in 2 years. But going to Alibaba in China and learning so many things, I realized that no, I have to have a change of perspective and rewrite the book, because now we are in e-learning, and I had to change the whole perspective, and I've seen new opportunities in that. So it has delayed that project for 2 years, but I know it will come out better and become more applicable to a global audience instead of localized Ghanaian traditional audience. So I believe the opportunities are there, and young bankers, for example, should not just do debit and credit, but identify. Many bankers are now doing little things on the side, selling processed foods online using, as somebody said, using the delivery chain. Now the courier services are the most booming because they can easily go through traffic and deliver at every point in time. So this is where you identify your strength. If not even do the product yourself, you can buy and sell online and make a margin in addition to, because you don't have jobs for life. With what is going on in banking, I mean, there's going to be obviously a reduction in the numbers. So this is where you identify, you can have creative skills. I mean, the sky is the limit. It's not even the limit. The sky is the beginning. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Thank you very much, Auntie Abeta. We still have a lot of people on board, and we want to hear from your perspective. We want to hear from your industry, because it's a learning platform. Let us all learn something new, and I want to learn more. So the floor is still open to welcome more questions and more suggestions. Hello, Emmanuel. Ima, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, Ima, can you hear me? Yeah, so if you have something to add, so it becomes more interactive, because the idea is not for us to speak more, but to get more people, bring their perspective to fore.
What more can I add? I think you all touched on the salient I would say the salient issues as far as this whole subject of COVID-19 is concerned. I believe, like Madam rightly mentioned, for every misfortune or as in maybe a challenge, there are opportunities in there that we need to sit down and explore. Times like this, you need to take time to really analyze things before you come up with whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe people may also rush into taking some decisions hurriedly because they might think situations are going to be like this permanently, forgetting that things do change over time. So whatever it is, I believe it's about time. Maybe you just take your time to analyze things and see where maybe your strengths lie and see how best you can take advantage of a situation and make the best out of it. That's it. But in terms of looking at the aspect of businesses, like Bento rightly mentioned, it is easier said, putting in mechanisms in terms of business continuity, resilience, and everything. But it all depends on the type of business you do. For some businesses, it probably may be somewhat impossible to even work from home because the business requires that the person has to be there physically to make sure some things are done. You can imagine, let's give an example. If you are running a facility management company where you would have to probably supervise some people on the ground, making sure that they do some tidying up and everything, I mean, things like that. You definitely have to be there to see things for yourself and make sure and inspect and make sure that the responsibilities and duties are carried out. So for that, I believe it's to an extent. You look at yourself, you look at your business, and then you see how best you can put in some mechanisms to more or less like stay afloat, whatever the challenge would be at any point in time. I guess that's a little I can add to it.
Wow,
I'm enjoying
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I think from what you have said, there will always be limitations to every happening. There will be always limitations and challenges. And Ray said a couple of things, but one of the things that we are all scared of is the fear of uncertainty. We all know that at this point, we can't tell where COVID-19 is taking us. But what we can see is that the challenges that confront us now, we can take advantage of and find mitigating factors to make sure we are staying afloat. So for me, I think we need to have a rethink of our business and the way we have done business in the past. And we've shared great ideas here in terms of getting online, extending the reach, our businesses online. We can have the YouTube. We're on Zoom now. It's part of the online business. I have always been in Ghana writing and all that, doing the radio programs and stuff like that. But today we are on Zoom and we are still having a discussion, still bringing the service to the doorstep of the people. So it is important that as business leaders and as business owners, as entrepreneurs and as parents and whatever, we always need to make use of the technology available to us to make sure our businesses is growing. So the fear of uncertainty is one of the key things that we are all scared of. But then there are opportunities in there, like we've always said. One other thing that somebody shared with me prior to this discussion was how we can bring the brick and mortar business online. And I want to find out if somebody has any perspective to share on that. Brick and mortar in the sense that you are selling, you own a shop, and people have to come to you to do your to buy or sell or whatever. How do you, and you don't have the expertise to get online, how do you do this? If somebody has any idea that wants to share or want to bring on board, it will be welcome. So we all learn from it.
Afolabi, I think that Emmanuel said a while ago, it's the idea of not physically, like maybe operating remotely or e-commerce does not work for every business. So for example, if I have a provision shop and it's in this pandemic, I cannot, there's little I could do in terms of trying to sell my my milk and my sugar online. The best I can do is to try and find a way to reach out to friends and family within the neighborhood that I could do delivery. Maybe instead of you coming to the provision shop, if I know that you need bread, you need milk, you need sugar, I could do delivery within a certain proximity, because beyond a certain proximity, it does not make it profitable, because how do you fuel the car or the motorbike to do that delivery? What is the profit margin on the product that you are selling? But there are other industries or the other businesses that you could take online. So like you are saying, you used to host you host a program on radio. Now, due to COVID, you cannot do that. There was a period that you could not do that, but you could still get online using online radio. There's a platform for you to reach out to people using online radio. You have organized this seminar online, getting people to participate, and that is a way of progressing. Many years ago, I think in 2015, when we started Ultranet, the telecom business, we used to have physical servers that were storing at NITA, physical Cisco servers. 2 years down the line, I went to a conference and I realized that we don't really need servers. We don't need servers. There are cloud-based solutions like what we are using. So instead of spending money on physical server that requires that an engineer is monitoring it, you must connect power to it, you must buy a generator, you must forward the generator, somebody must be manning it, people running shifts, 8-hour shifts, paying them. Everything can be hosted on a cloud. It took one person to show us that knowledge that you don't really need physical servers to do the business. Everything can be hosted on the cloud. A lot of banks now are using cloud-based application softwares. Instead of the previous, we are going to the server room, we are going to the server room. Now the server room is as good as your mobile phone, or it's as good as your tablet, or it's as good as your laptop. So depending on the industry that you find yourself in, you can partially or completely move your business online. But going online will not work for everybody. If you're in the delivery business, the best you can do is to have an online portal that allows people to use your service or register for your service but you still need to physically go out there to do delivery. If you are into tuition, there's a limitation. There are certain tuitions that can be done online, but certain times too, you may need to physically go and do the tuition. So I think that on my part, I think that there are limitations as to what we can migrate online and what need to remain as traditional business. That's what I think.
Wow, that's great. But then on the same perspective, what I actually shared with a person, and I want to share it here with the brick and mortar business, is that there is the idea, or there is a need to be innovative. You know, when there are challenges and there are problems, you always have innovative ways to do things. So this is what I actually decided to share with a person, and the person has actually started and is doing well. What I told him is, you live in a particular neighborhood, and you know, within that neighborhood, a lot more people go to do their grocery in town. So I told the person that you could do flyers, or you could reach out to these people, get their contact numbers or their emails, and get to know what grocery they normally do in town for the week. Because we all know most people go to town and do their grocery for at times a week or 2 or 3, like buy their provisions and everything and come and store them at home. So if you're running that kind of provision shop in a particular neighborhood, and that's your catchment area, and people cannot walk to you, to your provision shop to buy, then you need to get their contacts, their numbers, and get to know the list of grocery that they do for a week. And then you do that on their behalf and deliver it one stop. So you don't have to get people walk in to your shop or your provision store to buy. And this person started this just a week ago, and I was shocked to get a feedback from her that it has been phenomenal, that people are so excited that they sit at home, she goes to do their grocery for them in town and delivers it to their home. So this brick and mortar business, where we all think that, okay, so I sit in Mokola, I sit somewhere, and my business requires that people have to walk to me before I can make money, has changed, because technology can still be used. You can use Facebook mediums. I know this lady back in East Legon, and what she does is that she sells foodstuffs. So a couple of times, she comes, leave a flyer on your door or at your gate with her contact and all that. And one time I decided to just give it a try. So I actually sent her a text, a WhatsApp message, and I inquired, and I told her, okay, I need a plantain, I need that, I need that. I gave her my all list, and I was shocked to realize that in just that evening, before 7 o'clock, she called me that, hey, the staff are ready. If I'm ready at home, she could deliver it. And it was perfectly done. So I'm just trying to say that in the midst of challenges, we need to be innovative. Innovation has been the driving force now, the evolving thing. Today we are on Zoom because somebody has been innovative. Before, conferences that I used to organize, I have to be in person, like Ray said, and all that. You have to be there, you have to talk to people, people have to engage you. But today we are on Zoom because of somebody's innovative ideas. So COVID, for me, has provided us the opportunity to be more innovative, to think outside the box, and to probably look at new ways and better ways of living our life. We might not go back to having the personal touch and the face-on discussions again, but I sit here and I could see people from all across the globe. We have Anita Disoso, who is in London, and then Mark, who is also on board. He's all the way in Australia. And unlike before, Mark couldn't have traveled all the way from Australia just to come to Ghana to be part of this conference. So innovation is very, very important around this time. And as business leaders, we always need to look at how we can take advantage of the challenges and the problems that confront us to be more innovative and see how our businesses can thrive in the midst of a pandemic like COVID-19. So that's what I have to say now. I don't know if somebody have something to share.
Hello, Jerry.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to add something small to what you just said. And the question that someone posed to you, he said about a week or so. You know, one of the things I always say when it comes to people having challenges and complaining is the issue of excuses. For me, if you are in a boat and the boat is drowning and you are just shouting, crying, and you are not trying to find solution to the issue beyond just the shouting, for me, the boat will drown and you die. So COVID-19 has come to distract your business and you are just talking about it, complaining. For me, the issue is solution. The solution is that if you cannot do it yourself, there are other people out there who can assist you in getting the solution. So instead of complaining, instead of putting the blame on COVID-19 as distracting and killing your business, people out there are well vested in the area of social media marketing. People out there know how to use IT to develop applications that will improve your business. What prevents you from engaging those people so that you will not drown, your business will not collapse? Let's take out the issues of excuses. Excuses has always been part of our lives as human beings since the days of Adam, and they will continue to be there. But if you want to survive in challenges, then excuses should not be part. Instead of giving excuses, the key thing should be finding solutions. So ask yourself, is the solution in sight or I need to get it from other sources? No matter the cost, once you get the solution, your problem will be over. And for me, that should be the concern of a business person or an employee whose work is in danger. If you are listening and your work is in danger, it is not a time for you to be thinking about, hey, if the job is over, what will I do? Find solution, get the solution. Be innovative, as Jerry is saying, so that when it eventually happens, your plan B, plan C is already in place for you to still continue to stay afloat. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question. I have a question for all of us. And the question is, in the midst of this COVID-19 and this pandemic, how do we as business owners and as entrepreneurs be able to manage our clientele base, I mean our customers, and make sure that we are still delivering our services as we are supposed to and satisfying their interests? That's my question. Hello? Hello? Hello?
We are working the answers.
So, Afolabi.
Yes.
So before anybody speaks on this, let me say this. I think from now, what every business should start thinking of and include in their business plan or whatever it is customer reviews or client reviews. It's very important. See, recently, like when this whole COVID started, I've been getting calls from telemarketers, from businesses that I never expect them to call me. But what are they doing? Most of them are calling to find out how I'm doing and how I'm still going to patronize their product or businesses. At first, when they collect my number or ask me to fill out a review or tell them how I feel about their business, I thought it was a waste of time. But this is where the importance of them doing all those things comes in, right? So it's very important. Everybody from now, if you haven't done it, or if you know anybody who hasn't done it before, we should try to include customer reviews. Whatever business we are doing, talk about resiliency plan. It starts from there. You can have a direct conversation or a direct communication with your clients. And between the two of you, you can come up with a solid plan to continue your business, irrespective of what you are doing. So resiliency plan doesn't really mean that work from wherever you are or whatever. It's how you still satisfy your business, your client, or make your business grow, however the problem is. And it starts from where you two, like your main stakeholders, can benefit when problem comes.
Wow, that's great. A very great insight. So,
Okay, so Afolabi, on
yes.
your question about customers, how to handle customers, I'll just ask a follow-up question on that, which is going to address the issue. Hospitals, what are hospitals doing now? My hospital now send me text message to follow up and tell me what I need to do if I don't feel well. So they'll tell you that if you don't feel well, call this number. There's somebody who will speak to you on the phone and find out the symptoms that you are facing. And then if you need to come, you go in. If you don't need to come in, they will dispatch, if you're not well and they feel like they are not sure whether you have COVID or not, they will dispatch a lab technician to come and take sample of your blood and so on and so forth. So in the health sector, there's a lot of innovation as to how to deal with customers. And I think the same thing applies to every industry. It doesn't matter the business that you are in, you must have a database of your customers, the people that you deal with on a daily basis. Even if you are running a provision shop, there are certain individuals that walk into your provision shop on a daily basis that come to buy your product. So you must have certain relationship with them, such that, like you said, like the good advice you give to your friend as to your friend that runs the provision shop, you call these people, they will feel love. You can, Bento just shared his experience. You can just imagine right now, if out of the blue, a service provider that you didn't know had your contact, or will call to find out how you're doing in these challenging times of COVID. We want to find out how you are doing, if there is anything we can do to help you. So generally, the way to treat your customers depend on your customers. You must identify who your customers are and have a certain database of the customers based on their needs and be able to reach out to them. There will not be a one-size-fits-all approach, but there will be various ways at which you can reach out to the customers.
Wow, that's great. I think at this point, if we don't have more suggestions and ideas that will be shared, then we'll just give ourselves the next 5 minutes to wrap up the whole discussion. So the floor will still be open, and maybe the closing will ask Emmanuel. Ima, are you still there? Then you probably give us some few remarks so we can end the program. But if somebody has any new ideas to share, it's so welcome.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. That's a great talk, and it's good to be part of this discussion. And I think for those who have shared very insightful ideas, kudos. I also want to come in with a little aspect which has to do with international business. It's a pandemic though, but I see a transfer of wealth from some end of society to another end, particularly for those of us in the emerging markets. Because most of our, let's say, colleagues or other countries who are in advanced economies have been hardly hit, just as we have. But again, we are sure that there are some idle cash that are there because there's nobody want to spend. The COVID is saying everybody should go home, don't come around. So people are not spending. And so what it means is that once this is over, the new normal will mean there will be some form of transfer of wealth where people will now want to look at where to redirect their wealth. And I'm talking to us in Ghana here because we have a very good advantage, because people will be looking at other areas that they could secure their investments. I've had experiences where people were looking at if they held their money in, let's say, in gold or in other forms of minerals, they would have been in advantage than to have just kept it in a bank, let's say in Europe or somewhere in Americas, because interest rates have dropped if we know what is happening out there because there is no demand. And to it, I want to say that for us in the emerging markets, this is an opportunity to redesign our businesses and make them more appealing to some of these international businesses and partnerships. In these times, people will look beyond their borders to trade. Because if somebody lives in an economy where they relied on tourism, now they will look at other areas that they could redivert their funds as against some future occurrence of such nature. And so for those of us who are business owners, I'd want to suggest that we kind of put our business in that position, particularly record keeping, having proper financial accounts, and positioning ourselves such that if you have a call from an advanced economy and says, Charlie, I've identified this thing in Africa or in Ghana, and I think it's a good area to put my money, then we have it. Prior to COVID-19, we're all busy doing stuff, so probably you didn't have time to put yourself together and then put your business together. I think this slowdown or lockdown, as we are calling it, should offer business owners the opportunity to reorganize their businesses, particularly your financials. Like Nana Bento said, he spoke about how to have a resilient plan. For most of us in Africa and Ghana, we were shocked. So most businesses did not know how to even go about the whole thing. Like Raymond rightly said, technology with Zoom is a mess. People didn't even know about it. And so this is the time for us to quickly realign our businesses as emerging markets so that when there is a transfer of wealth, then we have what it takes to face these businesses and then partner them to grow our business and then also impact on the general economy. So let's not just look at how we can stay afloat within Ghana, but how we can equally prepare ourselves for some of these partnerships when they come in. And that's what I want to share. Thank you very much for your audience.
Wow, that is great. I am excited about the transfer of wealth because I love money, and I'm sure all of us love money. So we're grateful for that kind of submission. And I think that, just like you rightly said, economies across the globe now are looking at emerging markets. And we in Ghana, just like you rightly said, we are at the advantage because a lot more people in Americans, in the Europes and all that are scared about what is happening now and the fact that businesses are not thriving as they should. So people are looking at where can we go to do business? Where is it safe? And we are all aware that our country, Ghana, has been one of the most peaceful in the whole African region and the sub-Saharan area. And a lot more people are looking forward to come there with their business. So it's just an opportunity for us to realign, look at how we can take advantage of technology, and look at how we can have the necessary resilient business continuity plans to make sure that we are doing well in this time. I must say that I'm so grateful and thankful to each and every one of you for making it. This is the maiden Zoom conference I have organized myself since this pandemic, and it has been very, very great. The submissions have been great, the participation, so awesome. We hit 40 participants, which I think is great for a start. And I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. And let's keep talking. I'm going to have the database, all of us here. I think it's good for us to network. There are opportunities that we can take advantage of and see how we can collaborate more and network. I have always been a believer of network because that is what has brought me and has gotten me to this level. And people like you are doing so much that we need to collaborate more and see how we can add value, not to ourselves alone, but to our country and our dependents. So I want to thank all of you for making it. And going forward, we'll have more of such discussions, and we'll have a lot of us being on the panel as well to share ideas like Raymond and Emmanuel and Patrick have done. I want to thank all of you. If somebody has anything to say before we go, you have the floor. You can go ahead and say it. But if not, then we can bring the session to an end. So if anybody has anything to say, you can. But this video has been, I've recorded a session, so I'll probably share it with everybody. so that we can share it to people who were not part as well to benefit.
Thank you very much, Afolabi, for this opportunity once again. COVID-19 has brought distraction into the world in general. And Intifo summarized it nicely by saying that there is an opportunity for emerging markets to take advantage. One area that a lot of people here who are joining us today should consider is the disruption caused in the global supply chain business. As Africans, how can we take advantage of that? How can we break the reliance on the international market? What can we do differently? I'm happy that as a nation now we are producing our own PPEs and so on and so forth. It gives me hope that for young entrepreneurs, there's an opportunity for us to venture into things. And I will encourage that we should patronize things that are done locally here or in the neighboring African countries. And that is the only way that we can create generational wealth in Africa. If not, every time we have to rely on the West for support and on China and other nations for support. So as I said in my earlier introduction, COVID has brought challenges, but there are opportunities. And I think that we should tap into the opportunities and milk it to the best of our knowledge. Thank you.
Hey, Nana Riafe. Nana Riafe, please say something before we go. Say something.
Hello, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah, Auntie Abeta.
Hi. Jerry, I've been following. I mean, great discussion. I like the contribution from all the panelists. And like you said, I mean, I hope to be part of this engagement going forward. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you all for making it. I think it's been a great session and we'll keep interacting. I'm so grateful for the support and I'm grateful for all of you being a part of this discussion. And like I said, we're going to have more of it. Let's keep sharing ideas. And I'm sure that most of us can do a lot of things together, because my belief is that if we are able to continue to share ideas of such and partner more, there is a lot we can do for our country, Ghana. Country Ghana needs us, and we are the young folks, we are the new face of Ghana, and we need to take the advantage and opportunity to add value to our country. Thank you very much for making it. So I'm grateful for all of you coming. Anybody has something to say?
Yes, Jerry.
Okay, I think better. We are listening to you.
I shared something in the chat about quality of service.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of service in brick and mortar,
okay,
has been now transferred into service in the digital world.
Okay.
And in their efforts to churn out niche products, the competitive edge will not be the digital products, but the quality of service. We see quite a number of shoddy goods being delivered. I'm just saying that whatever service we are offering, let's do it well, because service quality hasn't changed. It's the same as the brick and mortar service quality expectations. It should also be replaced as good quality service in the digital services we offer. There are too many shoddy goods care of digital service. This is just a takeaway.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think it's been a great session, like I said, and I'm grateful for all of you coming on board. And I'll share the video with all of you for you to also have a look at it, and then feedback will always be welcomed. I think there is a need for us to have a feedback on this session so that we can, the ones that we did well, we say thumbs up to us, and then where we went wrong, we can correct them going forward. So I'm so grateful for all of you for making it. Thank you very much. And then at this point, we can end the session. Thank you.